It's Tuesday, and it's weather for Weather Geeks time. Kind of an ugly, miserable-looking day out there today, as promised. Now, we have not seen a tremendous amount of problems with freezing rain and sleet. There's been some out there, but I haven't seen a lot of reports of real nasty travel conditions or anything like that. My drive-in was just fine. The parking lots were doing just fine. Here in downtown Youngstown, it was misting and right at about 32, almost 33 degrees at about 1:30 this afternoon. And those conditions are pretty typical, I think, across the valley. These are the 1 o'clock hour observations here at the Youngstown Warren Airport. We had 32 right on the nose with some drizzle. So technically that's freezing drizzle since it is right at 32. Down in Newcastle, perhaps a little sleet trying to mix in with a bit of rain. The precipitation is so light that it's having a hard time, causing a whole lot of problems. And also temperatures, of course, are not exactly, in the mid-20s. These are the 1 o'clock hour backyard temperatures. Generally, everyone's within a degree or two of 32. And when that is the case and the precipitation's falling very lightly, you're not looking at a whole lot of problems. If the precipitation was falling heavier, I think we would have a different situation on our hands. But anyway, temperatures will continue to rise for the rest of the afternoon. Let's take a look at those readings across Ohio. It's still hanging out around freezing down towards I-70. You don't find mid-30s until you're down into the Cincinnati area. So it'll be a slow process, but we'll continue to rise a little bit. A lot of us will make it up to 34 by the end of the day today. So I'm not anticipating a lot of additional trouble on the roadways. That said, a winter weather advisory is still in effect until 7 for Mahoning County and Trumbull County, and I believe Mercer County as well. My suspicion is they're going to need to dump that winter weather advisory earlier than 7, because this is just so light that I really don't think there's a whole lot of problems out there this afternoon. So, yeah, that's a good thing. Well, there's certainly a lot of cold air to be found across the Northeast, the Great Lakes, the Midwest. The last of the warmth is down here in the deep south and out into parts of the southwest as well. But this general kind of at or below average pattern will be with us through the end of the week. And then I do expect a warming trend as we head into the weekend. It's not going to turn real warm or anything like that. We're not going to see the 60s again, but still above average for early December. And that's always a nice little bonus. Hey, real quickly, let's take a look out west where, yes, it is raining in California. They are doing a dance of joy out here in the parched state of California. They need every raindrop they can get. Now, of course, the problem they have out there is where there's been a lot of wildfires in recent years, those what they call burn areas, see a lot of mudslides and flooding problems because this water essentially just turns to mud on those hillsides that have been burned out. So that'll be a concern, some mudslides and flooding issues, but generally speaking, of course, they desperately, desperately need the rain out here in the state of California. In some places, they're going to get a few inches before the end of the week, a few more opportunities for rain out on the West Coast. All right, let's talk about what's going to happen as we go into the future here in Northeast Ohio and Western PA. Well, our real light precipitation will be with us off and on through this evening. Here's the simulated radar this evening at 8 p.m. Bark a little worse than the bite here. I suspect this precipitation is even lighter and spottier than shown by the model here. As we go deeper into the night and actually fast forward to tomorrow morning, we're not going to see much on the radar tomorrow, but I do think with a low overcast, we're going to see some spots of drizzle here and there. It's not going to be the freezing drizzle. We're going to be above freezing, but there will be a few times when you might have to flip on your wipers here and there during the course of our Wednesday. Overall, just kind of a cloudy, uneventful, chilly day coming up on Wednesday. As we go towards the end of the week, high pressure is going to be almost right overhead on Thursday. This is a fresh shot of chilly air, so a chilly day, but there can be a few intervals of sunshine here and there on Thursday, especially in the afternoon hours. I think the day might start pretty cloudy. So we go to Friday. This is when things become a little more interesting again, not in terms of wintry precipitation, but in terms of rain. There's some model challenges ahead of us. That makes the forecast a little difficult. The GFS here has changed its tune since yesterday. If you remember yesterday, the GFS was one of the drier-looking models, while other models were bringing in the rain Friday. Now the GFS brings in the rain for the afternoon and nighttime hours especially, while the latest European model keeps most of it to the south. Canadian model looks kind of like the GFS with the rain. So I think there's at least a pretty decent chance of getting wet on Friday, especially in the afternoon, although that forecast, not a slam dunk since the European is singing a dry tune today. So some details still to be ironed out for your Friday forecast, but plan on at least some rain, I suspect. And then Saturday is looking a little wetter now than previous runs of the models. Wave of low pressure along this old front could bring us another a period or two of rain as we start the weekend. At this point, I would say Sunday is the better half of the weekend. Probably a little sunshine trying to work in, and a dry day seems likely. And early next week, there's just not a lot of barn burners out here in this forecast. Temperatures are a challenge in the long range as far as the individual ebbs and flows, day-to-day temperatures, but the trend overall in the longer range, and this is the 7-day period from the 9th through the 16th, so essentially the second week or so of December. A lot of red on this map, and orange as well. I don't think this is a warm pattern for eastern Ohio, western PA. Not going to be a records challenge or anything like that, but it is a pattern that favors mild weather more than is typical in December. So, there's going to be a lot of days with highs in the 40s and perhaps even 50s here and there, once or twice or three times through the end of the first week of December. It is not a pattern that's going to produce low temperatures in the single digits and lake effect snow showers and that sort of thing. It's going to be a cold day occasionally, but winter on a bit of a holding pattern here for at least the first half of the month. The forecast gets trickier second half of the month. I do suspect that we're going to see more opportunities for snow and cold as we get closer to Christmas. But through the middle of the month, essentially winter taking a little bit of a break in most of the eastern and even western parts of the U.S. That is the Tuesday weather for Weather Geeks. Thank you for watching, everyone. I'll see you right back here Wednesday afternoon. These videos, as you probably know, are usually online by about 3 o'clock or so. I'll see you then.